Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we are going to talk about the Magneto update, the massive buff that is coming, that was leaked and is supposed to go live at the end of August. Now, none of this is definitive yet, of course, because it still is in the beta, but it sounds like they have commented that they have no plans to severely change the amount of damage that this champion can do. So let's review his new abilities. With the signature ability, he cannot lose more than a percentage of his health from a single damage source, which is just over 1%. He also gains crit resistance and block penetration, which is increased against metal opponents, and his heavy attacks will deal an additional burst of energy damage. So the awakened ability is nice, but not required to unlock this champion's potential. Now the passive, with metal opponents, they will be magnetized, and this will cause decreased ability accuracy by 70%, as well as decreased regeneration rate by 105%. So metal opponents will not activate their abilities, and any regeneration they have will actually be reversed for 5% of what their regeneration would have been. And then Magneto's abilities will also gain special magnet bonuses. Magneto's attacks are also energy damage instead of physical damage, which is great against Havoc. I definitely need a counter for Havoc. He is 90% resistant to bleed and shock, which is awesome. Gives you some immunities. And against magnetic opponents, he gets increased perfect block chance, increased attack rating, and his attacks cannot be auto-blocked or miss, which will be awesome, especially against Iron Man Infinity War. One of the magnet bonuses is that it ignores class disadvantage. So when you're fighting a class that he would have a class disadvantage to, instead of having the attack penalty, he removes that attack penalty and the opponent loses their attack bonus. Magneto will now stack up prowess buffs when he knocks the opponent down, and they will be indefinite, and they will be removed when you use a special attack, and it gives plus 20% special attack damage, which is huge when you stack it up, which will max out at 5 stacks unless you have the magnet bonus. So metal champions, there is an unlimited number of stacking, so you can get some huge damage. And then when charging a heavy attack, there is a force field. Basically you get an unstoppable buff, and if you get struck while that unstoppable buff is active, then it will go on cooldown for 14 seconds or 10 seconds if they are magnetic. And if you hold the heavy attack for 0.7 seconds, you will double the amount of prowess buffs that you have, and you get a little bit less of a bonus from those ones. You can have up to 40, and each one gives 5% special attack damage, which in combination with the other prowess buffs, if you max them all out, that's a huge bonus for the special attack. In addition to that, against magnetic opponents, you will have stronger bleeds, and if they are immune to bleed debuffs, then you will inflict armor breaks instead. The first special attack will cause bleed, as well as giving an additional bleed if they have an armor break active, and an additional bleed if they are magnetic. The second special attack deals an armor break, which is refreshed anytime you gain a prowess. And the third special attack against heroes or magnetic opponents will give you a fury buff for 30 seconds. And each prowess buff has a 70% chance to be converted into a bleed. So you can deal some insane amount of bleed damage on top of the insane amount of damage that the special 3 attack will do on its own. So here is what it would look like when you're charging a heavy attack. You'll get that unstoppable buff, and if you get hit while that is active, it will just go on cooldown so that you have a 10 to 14 second duration where you will not gain that unstoppable buff while charging a heavy attack. And then when you knock the opponent down, you gain one of those prowess buffs, as you can see here. And because this Magneto is duped, you see that there is energy damage in addition to the regular attack damage. And then here you can see an example where charging a heavy attack, you get the unstoppable buff, and then that unstoppable part goes on cooldown. Now, this clip was circulated in a chat that was provided by one of the CCP members. I am not in that, unfortunately, and hopefully one day I will be. But here's an example. Once you stack up so many prowesses, that does so much damage, and then the bleeds are insane. So I'm actually really excited about this because I have been needing a champion with some immunities that can deal some damage, particularly in unique classes like this class, because I don't have any strong mutant champions yet. So Magneto will be a great one for me to level up, and will be definitely helpful for a lot of content I have to complete still, and will fill unique roles in my roster. So I will benefit a lot from this buff. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope this video was helpful to you all to get some of this information earlier. And I know there's a lot of videos out there already with some other gameplay, so check those out, and I'll see you in the next video.